Now, in this video, we will see about if and else. So you already know about if and else if you have basic background in C or Java or or C++. The same thing happens here, but only problem or only change in this particular Python coming to any block of statements is indentation. If you have to declare a block of statements in C program, we generally use braces, curly braces, right? But here we don't use curly braces, we use indentation. I'll take an example and explain you. Let us say A is 10 and B is 200. Two numbers are there. Now we want to compare which one is greater. Okay. So for that we are writing if B is greater than A. Now you can see that here clearly if doesn't have spaces, right? If doesn't have any spaces before it. But if you look at print, there are 4 spaces here, right? So this is called as indentation. So Python standard says that maintaining 4 spaces for indentation is good. So indentation is nothing but we are moving the code little inside. That is indentation, if you don't know that. So we are moving the code little inside. Okay. Now how many spaces did we move into? 4 spaces, right? Now you can also use 1 space, 2 space, 3 spaces as well. But the convention is that you have to use 4 spaces. Just use a tab there. Otherwise, when you write a if statement and after you have the syntax is if keyword followed by the condition followed by a colon. You have to observe this clearly. Colon is also important and this is the condition. And you can put the condition in braces or you don't have to put the condition in braces. It is up to you. Now this is called as a condition. If this condition is true, then whatever statements are after it indented, they all form the if block. For example, here there is one statement. So if this condition is true, this one statement will be executed. You can have any number of statements without any curly braces. You need not write any curly braces. For example, if you go to the next line, it will automatically take you to the same indentation level. And if you type something at this level, for example, if I type any statement, again one more print statement or anything, then see these two statements are present inside the if block. Okay, these two if print statements are present inside the if block, and this is called the condition, and this is the comparison operator, greater than, less than. So we will see what are the comparison operators later. So now if you see this, we have written if. You can write a plain if without an else, or if you want to have either or condition, which means if this condition is true, you want to do something, and if this condition is false, if you want to do something else, then you can add an else. But how do you match an if and else is both of them have to be at the same level of indentation. For example, if this if has to be associated with an else, both the if and else have to be present in the same indentation. Now let's write else. So if you observe it, we are putting else and if in the same indentation, right? And also remember that if should end with a colon, else should end with a colon. You remember this. This is somewhat different from C programming or Java programming. Again, this particular line falls under else. This line falls under if. So if this condition is true, this line will be executed. Otherwise, this line will be executed. Okay. So you can see that when I run it, B is greater than A. Obviously, B is 200 and A is 10. So B is greater than A. It's a simple program. Now let us see what are the conditional, relational operators available. Okay. Comparison operators. So these are all the comparison operators. You know that if you are from C background, you know this already. It is same. Greater, once one greater symbol is actually greater than, one less symbol is already less than. But when you are comparing two elements to be equal or not, then you have to use two equal symbols. This is important. So many people do a mistake here. If they have to compare A and B, if they are both equal or not, they will write A equal to B. But that is going to be a assignment. One single equal to is an assignment and two equals is a comparison, whether they are equal or not. Okay. And then not equal to. So this actually compares whether two numbers are not equal to each other or not. and similarly greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, fine. Right, now let's see a small program. In this program, let us say there is a roller coaster ride. Now in the roller coaster ride, people who are above 120 centimeters height are only allowed, other people are not allowed. So for that, we are first reading the height of the person in the input, and we are converting it into int. So it will be in integers. So 120 centimeters, 125 centimeters, like that. Now we will check using a if statement. Okay. So the if statement is checking if height is greater than 20. Remember that there has to be a column, and then there has to be an indentation what you want to do. Now we are saying that you can write the roller coaster. Now else means if the height is less than 120, you can see the column here, important. Even every if and else has to be ending with a column, and then indentation is important. So sorry you cannot write is what we are trying to say here. So let's now try to run it. So what is your height in centimeters is the question. So you can give any height, let us say 125. You can ride the roller coaster, otherwise you cannot ride the roller coaster. Now let us assume that instead of 125, so what we are checking here is if the height is greater than 125, then only we are allowing a person. But now we want to allow the people with 120 centimeters also. Then how are you going to modify this program? So if you have to allow the 120 centimeters also, then it has to be greater than or equal to. Okay. So if it is even 120, you are going to run it. Otherwise, it will not run. You can remove this, and you can just check what happens if you give 120. If you give 120, it is saying sorry you cannot write. Okay. So but then I want 120 also should be able to write. So that is where we are going to use greater than or equal to. Similarly, if you look at these comparison operators, greater than or equal to is there, equal to is there. Here, if you want only 120 centimeters people to write, then you can give double equal to instead of greater than or equal to. Here you can give double equal to. If you want people with only 120 height to write, okay. So double equal to, not equal to, greater than equal to, less than or equal to, or frequently used operators when you are using if and else. Okay. Thank you. Hi, in the previous example, we have seen that people who are above 120 or 120 centimeters or greater than that, they are allowed to take the ride, otherwise, they are not allowed to take the ride. So, this is the program we have written, and you know that. Now, what we want to do is we want to add age also. So, depending on the age, we want to charge them certain amount of fee. For example, if their age is less than 18, then we want to charge them 50 rupees per the ticket. If their age is greater than 20, we want to charge them something extra. So we are like reading the age. Now what we are trying to do is, if they are allowed to write, we should check the age. So within the if you see this in this indentation, I am writing one more if. This is called as nested if. Within the if I write one more if, this is called as nested if. Now I am checking if the age is less than or equal to 18. If the age is less than or equal to 18, let us say their ticket price is 50 rupees. Okay. Otherwise, which means if their age is greater than 18, then they have to pay 100 rupees. Just an example. Okay. Now, if you observe one thing here clearly, if I have to reach this statement, this print statement, first this condition has to be true, and then this condition has to be true, then only I will reach it. If this condition is true and if this condition is false, then I will be going to else. So that is the advantage of using nested if else. Now let us say there is one more condition that if age is less than 12, then we are going to charge them 25 rupees, and from 12 to 18 it is 50 rupees, and 18 and above it is 100 rupees. Let us assume that. Then what we are going to do is we have to use one more if statement, but it has to be associated with the first if statement, right? So here we are going to use something called as else if. Okay, elif. So first we will check whether the age is less than or equal to 12. First we will check whether the age is less than or equal to 12. If this condition is false, then we will check this elif. So what is elif is? It is else if. So if you know other programming languages, then there is else if in the other programming languages like C. So elif is similar to that. So if and elif are actually they are actually related. So which means this if and this else if and this else, which are in the same indentation, are all related. So if this condition is false, then only we will go to this condition. If both these conditions are false, then only we will go to this condition, right? So this is else and if else. So again, I will recap what we have discussed. So we have if and we have nested if, and this nested if has else if as well as else. So this is how we have written the code. Okay, thank you. Hi, till now we have seen nested ifs and if elifs, where all the if cases will not be tested. But then there will be some programs where we will have to test many conditions. So there we are going to use multiple ifs. What I mean to say is, if you look at if, elif and else block, it will be like this: if, elif, else. Now, if this condition is true, condition 1 is true, then it is not going to check condition 2, or it is not going to execute the else statement here. So only one of these statements will be executed. Now we don't want that. We want multiple conditions to be executed. There we are going to use multiple ifs. So multiple ifs means it will be like this: if at the same indentation level. And now if the condition 1 is true, then this condition will be executed. After that, even though condition 1 is true, it will go to condition 2. And if it is also true, it will execute this B block. And if after that, even if 1 and 2 are true, then also it will check condition 3. So this is called multiple ifs. So we will see an example where we are going to use multiple ifs. Okay, you might have already seen the program of roller coaster. Let's open the program. So in the roller coaster, if you observe it, we have seen that if the height is greater than or equal to 120, then we are going to allow them to ride. Otherwise, we are not allowing them to ride. And after we check the height, we are checking the age. And if the age is less than or equal to 12, their ticket fee is 25 rupees. If it is less than or equal to 18, the ticket is 50 rupees, and otherwise it is 100 rupees, right? Now let us say after that we want to add 10 rupees for a photo. If someone wants a photo in the roller coaster, we want to add 10 rupees to them. How can we add 10 rupees to them? So first we have to check whether the person is interested in taking the photo or not. Okay. So now after checking the height and taking the age, we are going to check if the person is actually interested in taking the photo or not. So we are trying to ask the user to tell us whether he wants a photo or not if his age is above 120, irrespective of his age. Sorry, if his height is above 120, irrespective of his age, we are asking him whether he wants a photo or not. If now we are going to use a if. Now this is what is called multiple ifs. So we have a if here, at the same indentation level we have a if here, right? So this if these three statements are together, and even though these three statements are executed, after that this statement will still get executed. If wants the photo equal to y, which means if he wants to take the photo, then we are going to add 10 rupees to the fee. But the problem is we don't have a variable where we can add 10 rupees, which means the final bill amount, we don't have any variable for it. So for that we are going to create a new variable, bill. to find out the final bill. I'm initializing it to 0. So depending on their age, I'm going to change the value of bill. If the age is less than or equal to 12, the bill is 25 rupees. If the age is between 12 and 18, the bill is 50. Otherwise, the bill is 100. So I have added this bill. Now to this bill amount, I can add 10 rupees if they want a photo. Here, to the bill amount, I am going to add 10 rupees. So bill equal to bill plus 10 we can write like this, or a better way to write it is using shorthand notation. Bill plus equal to 10. Let's use that. Bill plus whatever the bill is which we have calculated based on the age, we are simply writing bill plus equal to 10. Okay. Now if you observe it, this if doesn't have any elif or else. This if is not having any else because we don't want any else. See, if he wants a photo, we are going to add 10 rupees to the bill. If he doesn't want a photo, we don't want to add anything. We don't want to do anything. We want to do nothing. That is why there is no need of else here. Right? Now let's run the program and see. So based on the age, we are just writing child ticket, youth ticket, adult ticket. So just for your information, something will be printed onto the screen. It is not required also. So now let's run it and see. Okay, we have to print the final bill. Let's use a string. Your final bill is that variable bill, whatever we have in the variable bill. Now, what is your height in centimeters? Let us say 130. You cannot write. Okay, this is actually you can't write the roller. You can write the roller coaster because the height is 130. Now, what is your age? 21. So your ticket is 100 rupees. Adult tickets are 100 rupees. Now, do you want a photo or not? Let's do yes. Now the bill is total final bill is 110. Okay. Thank you.